right.
The mic's on.
Call order the town board meeting at the Town of Lisbon Town Hall on Monday, October 10th, 2022 at 6:33 PM. Roll call, please.
Chairman Osterman,
Here.
Supervisor Flotecker. Here. Supervisor Moonen.
Here.
Supervisor Beal. Here. Supervisor Quinn. Here. Administrator Nicholas. Here. And Clerk Pazzaketch to record the minutes.
Thank you. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, item 3 is comments from citizens present. Does anyone wish to speak? Anyone on Zoom?
No one on Zoom.
All right, item 4 is the consent agenda. Items listed under the consent agenda are considered in one motion unless a town board member requests that an item be removed. We have the September 26th, 2022 town board minutes. We have a letter of credit reduction for Twin Pines Farm Phase 3 in the amount of $238,887.22. We have the final acceptance of improvements for Twin Pines Farm Phase 3. The letter of credit reduction number 2 for Pheasant View Meadows in the amount of $546,348.55. And the letter of credit reduction number 4 for Bark River Preserve in the amount of $174,635.56. Anyone have anything you want removed for separate consideration, or is there a motion on the consent agenda?
I make a motion, we accept the consent agenda A through E.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right, motion made and seconded. Any final discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Item 5, accounts payable. We have the authorizing the payment of the Falls Auto Parts bill in the amount of $63.47. Motion on that item.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Item B, authorizing the payment of the remaining bills in the amount of $164,744.36. Questions or comments on the bills, or is there a motion?
I make a motion to authorize payment of the remaining bills in the amount of $164,744.36.
Is there a second?
A second.
By Linda. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Item 6, announcements and correspondence. We have the ribbon cutting this Thursday, October 13th from 5 to 7 PM at Stone Family Park. We have a Parks Committee meeting on Monday, the 17th at 6:30 PM at the Richard Young Fire Station. Have the Sanitary Sewer District number 1 meeting Wednesday, the 19th at 6:30 PM at the Town Hall. Our next town board meeting is the 24th at 6:30 here at the Town Hall. Anyone else have any other announcements or correspondence? All right, item 7, administrator report.
The preliminary audit papers have been done. They've also requested supplements. That work has been done as well. Field work audit is scheduled for February, the last week in February. We have someone that has interest in 30,000 of the 60,000 cubic yards of fill sitting on the parcel in Business Park East in the industrial portion. We'll know more when they if they are interested in it, if they get the bid. We're reaching out to other builders, other buildings that are going up in Business Park East to see if they are gonna need any fill, just trying to get the other 30,000 done without any cost to us. we met with Quick Trip last Thursday to review an application for Business Park East. They expect their application to be in December. There'll be an amendment to TDC's parcel with the name of the tenant that will be on the, on their northern, parcel, on the November, Plan Commission meeting. There's a new owner in the Sharpley property. If you remember, that's on Town Line. It was a non-compliance property. The owner's having some trouble getting the old owner out of the property. Once he gets the eviction notice has been completed, he's planning on doing a raise permit and then going ahead and building another single family home. I sat down with Western Lakes Fire Chief. We discussed fire fees and interfacility charges and Life Quest billing, just to see how things are working on their end. The majority of 2 weeks I've been just working on the budget. There is a meeting for Hamilton School District. That was the beginning of that. I sent, you were sent an email on that. It's going to be December 8th. So if anyone is able to attend, I will be out of. Upcoming meetings, Menominee Falls asked attendance at their PC meeting tomorrow, so I'll do that. The TDC closing on the 12th and then Stone Family. That is my report.
Where is the TDC closing going to be at?
I believe Night Title Company.
And is that 30,000 of the 60? There's no cost to us at all?
That's correct. Free is the way we were going.
What, for the Plan Commission meeting in Menominee Falls, they're considering Business Park,
Our-
I'm assuming.
Yes, the last CSM.
The concerns.
They just asked for somebody to be in attendance. I'm thinking it's probably just to know what's going over there and what we're doing. I guess, because they didn't call me personally and say, hey, we got a problem, and they didn't call the engineer. You know, they didn't talk to Mitch and ones that there's an engineering problem. So I think they just want to know what's going on.
I see Quick Trip on here on your report. Is there any report as far as that, the west turning lane coming, from the north to the south? They said it was a hazard and you were going to speak with Quick Trip about that at a meeting you mentioned? Am I the only one that
Going up in
remembers that?
Q.
Up with you.
Yeah,
That's one by Riverview.
off of 164.
I think we were
Yeah.
talking, were we talking? I'm just trying to familiarize myself.
Mhm.
Obviously didn't talk to Coach about it. So I'm gonna put down.
Southbound,
Yeah.
all the lanes come together, right? Is that Riverview?
Mhm.
Riverview Lane,
Oh, you mean the road?
the road, yeah.
Mhm.
They come together at a point when they probably shouldn't.
Right.
Right, any other questions or comments?
No.
Thank you, Kathy.
Mhm.
Incorporation update.
So I got word today that the last IRB will be on, meeting will be on November 2nd from 10 to 11. So, we should know how we're looking after that meeting.
So you're still planning on having a meeting in November with everybody, the residents?
A
And
town
maybe-
board, yes, definitely, because we won't be incorporated until after the residents vote.
Correct. And that's January 10th, I want to say.
Correct. That's correct.
Okay.
What is the date of that meeting?
The IRB meeting
Yeah, or the,
is the 2nd.
okay.
No, are you talking about with the residents? Is that what you're talking
Yeah, isn't that
about?
what-
Yeah.
That's our budget.
No, our
budget
town
hearing?
meeting, our town
Our-
meeting.
Yeah,
with-
it's budget and town meeting.
The meeting,
That's-
electorate
that's-
meeting.
And when is that going to be at again? The second?
No, that's a different meeting. That's the IRB meeting is the second. I think it's the 9th,
That's what I thought,
November 9th.
at the fire station.
We had it here last year,
Oh, okay.
didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. If you don't, I mean, if you'd like to have it at the fire station, I'm happy to do it at the fire station. It's up to you guys. Oh, yeah, that's right. We don't have to drive all. Good point. We never know what it's gonna look like. And so we'll stay here.
So we might have to have the planning commission meeting here.
We'll see what it looks like. Yeah, it's possible. Our plan commission will have to come back here.
They'll actually be excited.
Will they?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else?
Anyone? All right. Lisbon Economic Conditions Update.
I don't have anything.
Anything from anyone? All right, number 10 supervisor reports.
I have nothing to report. Our big meeting is on the 19th. We'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to it. No, not really, but.
All right. Item 11, unfinished business. Discussion and necessary action regarding Waukesha County IGA regarding recycling.
All right, so we had this in front of us in August. I had the attorney take a look at the agreement. And after he did that for a majority of the municipalities, the county came back and made some changes because some of the language was arbitrary and how they were gonna decide on the on what our refunds were gonna be. They were gonna estimate, and so what they determined and what was the big change in here was that they're gonna look at last year's numbers, recycling numbers, and that's what they're gonna give us the previous year, and that's what they're gonna give us our refund on for the upcoming 2023, and then they'll use 22 numbers for 24. And so on. So I ask for your approval.
Comments, questions from the board? Is there a motion on this item?
I'll make a motion that we accept the intergovernmental agreement between the town of Lisbon and Waukesha County regarding the recycling dividend program.
Is there a second?
I second.
Discussion? None? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Item 12, new business. A, discussion and necessary action regarding 2022 vacation carryover.
All right, so in front of you, I have a request for consideration. One of our department heads asked that it be considered that we allow for 3 weeks of vacation to be transferred or carried over in 23 or 22 and in 23 to go back to the 2-year, which is what's written in our handbook. So I did, I had consistently through the year talked to the department heads about making sure that their staff was caught up on their vacation. There was a misunderstanding in DPW that when they got their comp time, they went ahead and used their comp time before they used their vacation time. And so so then their vacation time is a use it or lose it, except 2 weeks can roll over, whereas a comp time can be paid out at the end of the year. So there are 5 people in DPW that are looking to ask for that 3rd week. And there are 3 people that could, if we swap their vacation and comp time, would come under that 2 week mark. We had 2 in here, but we spoke in the office today and we believe that we can fit our vacations in, and then fire department had 3.
Discussion.
Why do you feel that there's a difference of 3 weeks in 23 and 2 weeks in 24?
Well, we roll over to from 22 to 23. Our, the idea is so then our employees that didn't take their vacation would be able to roll over 3 weeks instead of just the 2 weeks that are set in our handbook. But then when we go to the end of 23, we would only roll over the 2 weeks.
Got to be no misunderstanding? Is that what you're saying?
Wasn't a
Oh, I
misunderstanding.
thought you said there was a misunderstanding.
Just, DPW had a misunderstanding of how to deal with comp
Oh.
time and vacation time.
Yeah,
It's in their best interest to use their vacation time if they're not gonna be able to use it throughout the year. And then get paid out of their comp time, which would just be their vacation, it would be their overtime essentially. High time, so. But we have one person that, at the end of this year, DPW will have 56 extra hours over the 80 hours that they still have to. That they would lose. We have somebody with 82, somebody with 139. And another person with 48.
oh, that's a lot.
So a lot of hours they'd be losing unless they take it between now and the end of the year. So question came up is if they are able to take it between now and the end of the year, they're maybe able to take it in between snow plowing possibly.
Yeah, that's my question, is how would it affect the snow plowing? And first, we don't know if the snow, what's gonna do this coming year.
We've got probably 4 weeks that we're not gonna have snow plowing.
Yeah,
I would think that we have 4 weeks before we see snow that we're gonna plow here.
so you're, just so I clarify this, so you're thinking that there's gonna be more people taking their vacation in the year, for 24, we won't have this issue?
Right, it would be a drop in. It's the same thing.
I don't
came
blame
back
them, I
with
think they should have it, yeah.
Same thing I came with last year in the end of the year. I asked you to roll over whatever they had left, no limitation to it. And then this year we were supposed to do the 80 hours only. So
Okay.
Becky, how do you feel?
I don't have a problem with it. I would hate to see people lose their vacation, and we always have a problem with the highway guys because they aren't supposed to take vacation during plowing season, so I don't have a problem. But shouldn't it be rollover of vacation time in 2022? Because they're rolling it over at the
23,
end of this year?
yep,
I mean, is
Two,
that right,
yep.
or?
that's right. Yes,
Okay.
22 and 23. I was thinking it was gonna roll to 23 and 24. That's all.
22 and 23.
Paula?
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Mark? Mark?
I guess I'll be the green. You said here last year, we had a hard time rolling over and then we discussed it, we talked this all into it. I guess if you look back through the entire year, I'm sure there was times that vacation could have been used. It was employee's choice not to use it. Yes. I'd be in favor of the exchange. But I guess the problem that we run into is if we keep letting people carry over vacation, and unfortunately, if they do separate, now we're paying them at a higher wage than really what they should have been doing. So I think the only way I'd be in favor of the carryover would be as if we were able to somehow through payroll lock the value of their vacation. Because,
Good idea.
to me, I don't think they should benefit by getting 2 years in a row of policy variation, plus now they're accruing a higher wage than what they would have earned. presumably with the increase in June, it would now be 2 increases. But then vacation would have been increased in value. I don't think the spirit of that is to do that. So. I guess I hate to just keep getting into the practice of. Well, can we just carry it over again this year because we did it last year? And then when do we stop that?
Well, should there be an update to the policy made to stop this from moving forward?
The policy is it doesn't happen.
Oh, it's already
The
there.
policy's there for 2 weeks.
And we bent it last year because there was a global situation online. This, I don't see as a global situation. I think it's a group or individual situation. So,
Does it appear it's always the same people that roll it over?
I think we have a group that consistently rolls over at least the 2 weeks.
yeah, and I value their hard work to stay at work and maybe not use their vacation, but on the same token, we give vacation for a reason. It helps the employees separate their mind and body from work and recharge. And if they're not doing that, they're not using the vacation like we intended to. I understand some people just don't like to use their vacation time. They want to carry it over 2 weeks every year. But, I think it's a generous policy to allow 2 weeks. I know some companies, you get a PTO bank at the beginning of the year, and if you don't use it by the end of the year, it's
Oh,
zero. It's out.
Mhm.
So, we're way far away from that. And I think we have to have some respect for keeping a line on this. And I think we have enough time left in the year, almost 3 months, where we can probably have those employees catch up.
mhm. I agree.
Do you think they shouldn't be able to roll it over?
They could be rolled over because that's in our policy, but I think they should be paid at,
Well, we allow 2 weeks to roll over,
Right,
not
right.
1.
I have a hard time with the 3 weeks because it's the 2 weeks. And didn't we do 2 weeks last year?
No,
Or-
we did whatever
okay.
they had left, we rolled.
We went from one system to another system and it was,
I mean, it's a lot. I mean, I guess we could try that for just this last time and leave it go. And from now on, there's no dispute. It's 2 weeks and they're always paid the previous year's rate.
can we, let's
don't-
say. If we were to roll this old 1 extra week roll over, I guess I would probably want a piece of paper stating that they each sign. Saying this extra week, if separation were to occur, this extra week is gonna be paid out at. Whatever year's, proper year's rate. And
Or, I
then
mean, I would even be on board with if they separate in the next year, that they don't get.
they
paid
don't
out.
get it. That would, I was actually thinking about that. When you were talking.
Do that. That's probably an easier one.
And, but then also acknowledging on that sheet of paper, this is the final year of carryovers. Everybody is on notice and under the understanding that there will be no further carryovers, policy will be upheld, because we have been carrying over vacation. Every single year for somebody. There's
Yeah.
always something or other. And it's-
If you think about it, somebody could give 5 weeks of general schedule vacation. and then they could get more 3 additional. That's 8 weeks plus holidays.
Yeah,
I think that extra week just. add a lot to the stress of a small company.
Everybody in agreement with that?
Mm-hmm.
What is it?
So we're gonna let them carry over a week more vacation than normal.
So they're gonna be able to carry the 3 weeks over.
If they
okay.
separate from us before that vacation is used, they would essentially forfeit that extra week.
Okay,
And then also on the letter, it would acknowledge the fact that this is the final year of any kind of carryover, that next year it will be the use it or lose it scenario, other than the 2 weeks that is per the handbook.
Okay.
and does it say at the 2022 or whatever pay rate?
They can, no, they're gonna forfeit it if they don't.
They don't get paid out. They
No,
won't
but
get
I
paid out this
thought you were
extra.
saying that to pay them in 2023, if they take those 3 weeks, they don't get paid at the 23 rate. They get paid at the 22 rate for those particular weeks.
Only if they separate and
only
get
if they
paid,
separate.
get paid that check.
But our policy already allows for the 2 weeks to be carried over, which essentially whatever percentage of they get their value of vacation is by policy.
Okay, what do you mean separate, when you say separate?
They either,
To leave?
yeah, they leave.
Okay, I thought you meant that they go on the old rate if it's from the previous year. Which isn't a bad idea.
Then they
either.
get a check for whatever vacation they had left.
Yeah,
Minus this one week if they
Right.
didn't use it.
Yep.
Okay. Can you?
So moved. Second,
Also,
any other discussion? In favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Item B, discussion necessary action regarding resolution 2022-03, amending the 2022 budget.
So in with these two items, the sinking fund fire and sinking fund highway. We put the current budget in the line item and but we are actually using the capital fund, transfer to capital fund line item in our budget. So all this does is move those two to the proper location. It doesn't change the amount of money in the budget at all. It's just, we think it will look better for historical reason purposes if they're all in there. So I ask for your approval.
Questions?
Mhm.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2022-03.
Is there a second?
a second.
Discussion? All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Item C, discussion and necessary action regarding house number and assessment letter 2023 fees.
All right. This is something we spoke about a little bit in, when we started our budget workshops. And our current charges for our house numbers, we're not covering the costs. And so we're asking for an increase in the cost for the signs or for the house numbers to $30 instead of the $25. It's a $5 increase. And then on the same idea, the assessment letter fees are paid by the title company. And it's on the back, you can see what the other communities around us are charging for standard and expedited service. And so we're asking to not go as high as that, but to change our regular service to $35 and our expedited service to $50. We have to make sure that we, cover the costs of staff time to do this work. So the motion I put in there, if you so choose, is to set the house number fees and then also set the assessment letter fees. And I want to just go through my last sentence of the second motion. So if the property is on public utilities, right now, the sanitary district charges for the work to review to do the letter as well. And I just wanted to make it clear that when that moves into the town hall, that will be also, it will remain, that fee will remain. So if you're on the sanitary district and we have to, our person has to go and review the sanitary district to see if you have anything, that fee would still be there. It wouldn't be encompassed in the current assessment. Then.
Questions?
no, are you going to separate the fees like it's for the village's fees as well as in the sanitary fee? So it's split up, so a resident will say, well, why am I paying this much more? Unless it's explained to them right in front of them.
If they have a sanitary, so the resident doesn't pay this, paid by the title company.
Had a telecompany, yes, I know. In fact, I recommended that we raise ours too. So we'll find out.
Sanitary district.
That we're really reasonable too.
so the public is on public, or if the property is on public.
So right now, they get a fee when Mike Sargent goes out and reviews the title, plus they get a fee from us. And I just want to say that that's going to continue when it becomes a utility district.
Mhm.
There would still be two fees.
Right. What about the residences that are in the sanitary district but don't subscribe to public utility?
They don't. They don't, right now, they don't get it.
They don't
Either.
pay.
If they're in the sanitary district.
Yep.
Okay, you're saying that I have that wording wrong. So they are currently in the sanitary district, they would have to do it. So it's
They're
not
on
if they're
service.
not, they don't have to be on service.
They're on sewer service.
Property
then
is
they
on
have to
public
pay.
utility, so it's gotta be in this sanitary district.
Well, no, they're in the district. But
So,
they don't
yeah,
get
I guess what I'm
sewer.
saying is a user and a non-user.
Yeah.
There's two types within the
Right.
sanitary.
Right, right. Somebody that pays on the taxes, their fee, and don't use the
Yeah.
utility.
Mhm.
and
Are they still gonna be charged
The extra, I don't believe they are now.
No, I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't.
So that's why I was gonna change the verbiage to say if the property is on
The service is
sanitary,
served by
service.
sewer,
what did you say it is?
served by sewer.
Served
So-
by sewer.
We don't have this board doesn't have authority to even justice for the sanitary sewer.
No,
So do
we're
we
not.
even need to put this in here? Can we just
No, we
say,
can just cut it out.
just cut it out and just
I
for
was
the
just
town,
trying
and
to-
then when it comes back
Yeah.
later, when the
Yeah.
sanitary district comes in, just adjust it?
Well, and it's explained at a closing too,
Yeah,
on a closing
Okay, we
statement.
can just cut
make
that
it
one,
less.
even better.
Okay,
Okay. Any other discussion?
no,
Is- Should we prepare for the future on this? I mean, like, it's a very modest increase. Is it something we should maybe look to the future for? I don't know what kind of staff having to vote towards the first.
This is either set it for the future or review it every year kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess I don't want to just keep coming back,
Mhm.
look like we're always raising fees, so if we have a purpose that's. Purpose for the reasons. So it looks like we're not even recovering full cost, even if we do this in house numbers. So we put there that the price does not include cost of delivery or personnel time.
Right. I
So,
was just
I
trying
mean,
to,
what is, I don't know what's involved for time.
5 minutes.
just
Oh, if that-
ordering it,
All you do is put the letters in
We have them up there.
the thing.
you know, whatever it takes to order. And I believe they go and pick up instead of have it mailed. That's why I said that it should be mailed out instead of our guys going to a walk, pick it up in a truck.
but you would charge the resident that.
But whatever we charge for the house numbers. But the small amount of time that it takes in our office is just a matter of picking out the letters and putting them in a frame and giving them to Carson. But I don't know how much time it takes Joe to go ahead and.
But we're raising them to $30.
Just to cover the cost of the.
Right, and the cost only range to $25.71, so you're putting $4 on there. Well, $4.39.
And and you have to remember when we order and when we get delivery, it's all one, it's just one big order. It's not per tile, so, or per household, so.
So do they, just to follow you, are those numbers sent to the individual houses? No, because they're not there yet, so they have
So
to
the
pick it up
builders
here.
usually-
They pick it up, so we don't have to mail it, and they have
maybe not.
mailing charges.
Doesn't Brian give them to the
Right,
new
that's what I
houses?
said. They're handed out.
When are we gonna do this? Because I was gonna come in and get some new numbers, so they were.
You have to delay it in your
So,
motion by the
well,
time.
no,
We have to set it for
if I-
next year.
If I have to pay 25 or 30 bucks. Oh, yeah, maybe I should do that.
We need to take a pause to the meeting for
Yeah, we
5
can do that
minutes.
so I can run in and get, because I want reflective numbers, and of course mine are 28,
I think it's
29 years old.
But you-
Yeah, uh-huh.
We did
Yeah.
talk about, because we were all buying the non-reflective numbers and they didn't know it was non-reflective. And somebody talked about one of the meetings quite a long time ago, and you were here, about giving,
Right.
giving us a credit if we have to return in the old ones to get the new reflective ones.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
discussion.
There was a
Right.
discussion on that.
Lang did not, give them- I mean, we had the same thing in my former place and Lang wasn't willing to give them back.
Well, we didn't, I mean,
We didn't pass it.
we, we made a policy
The new ones.
that said they had to be reflective, but unfortunately, the highway guys were still getting the ones that were non-reflective, so,
All right.
yeah.
We were selling the opposite of what we did.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
They were supposed to have that, but they couldn't get it here, so, I'll be here tomorrow morning.
Oh, I should maybe come back as well, but no, we have got in front of our house reflective ones.
So do you want to do these separately then? Is that what?
Yes. For the separate piece,
What?
When they
Make it
start.
effective tonight.
or you can make them, at 1/1/23.
Well, you know, this is gonna break me, $4.37 or something.
Here's
So,
your number.
yeah, I can, they're right by the,
Mailbox?
right in my garden,
Really?
right at the front. But you can't see them because they're not
Non-reflective.
reflective, so. Yeah, so, all right, I will move that we set the house number fees at $30.
Is there a second
Okay.
discussion?
When does it start?
Right now.
Okay.
Any other discussion?
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimous on the law. What I did not vision was gonna be the longest agenda item tonight. Somebody want to take on the assessment letters?
I'll make a motion to set the assessment letters, the letter fees at $35 for regular service and $50 for expedited service.
Is there a second
I'll second.
discussion?
Would you, the assessment, so when they reassess? And
No,
I'm
it's
trying to
just
follow
called an
this.
assessment letter.
Pardon
It's
me?
what- It's just called from the title company, it's an assessment letter.
Oh.
So we look at,
Now I
other
know what you
things
mean.
other
Now I know
than-
what you mean. I was thinking, wow, we're charging people for a new assessment on their homes?
immediate.
Okay.
Sure.
Any other discussion?
Hmm.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimous.
Whew.
It was stressful.
Yeah.
Tell you.
Discussion and this reaction regarding new compost site contract for village and town of Merton.
So
And-
this is just for discussion purposes, just to get things started. Our contract is up at the end of this year with the two Mertens. Wanted to let you know what happens, that the Mertens pay Payne and Dolan $1,000 fee. They sell the passes at their locations and then they forward $20 to Lisbon for the permits. They also pay the 1/3 of the cost of these employees. So, so my first question is the length of contract. This one was a 3-year contract. You want to continue with a 3-year? Do you want it a 5-year? Or do you want it to be continuous with something, some kind of notification in August if they no longer wanted to use it, so you don't have to continually update it?
I would rather see it a 3-year.
Keep it at the 3?
Yeah, I can do it. I saw some variables that would be outside the control of a longer contract.
Okay.
Not saying they would do it, but it's Payne and Dolan. Choose to raise the rate, or you weren't able to find compost workers, you had to raise wages. I don't think a 5 year,
Okay.
it just gives us less security.
Right.
Is there not currently an out clause for?
I didn't,
I thought there was an outcry.
Well, if there is, if Payne and Dolan decides they're not going to continue.
Do you think they
The
would
rent.
be receptive to raising the rate to 25
I think they might be.
per pass?
I think
Because they just charge their residents, so.
25. Yeah,
it's-
they charge their residents 25 and then they send us 20.
Right,
So
so if we raised it to 25 for an out of municipality fee,
mm,
I wonder if they would have a problem.
I wouldn't think so. I think they all think they're getting a good, anyway, when I'm there, when the Merton people, you talk to them, they love coming over here.
Right.
I'm in favor, I think they should pay more.
Paula,
I mean, to have the facility there, I'd say 25, would pay $25 for it, and not,
Yeah.
I would do it.
Mark,
I would say no. Our grinding costs have held pretty steady and actually they're coming under budget with the last couple, so. You know, unless there's some cost that I'm missing, I think our user fee should be kind of covering costs. I mean, if we had a deficit, I think we would be safe to say it's necessary, but why are we using it?
I
We
didn't
followed
have
the
50 rest.
inflation rate, it would be like a $2 increase.
Yeah.
If we use that,
Well,
but I,
That's
I
a
don't know.
nightmare.
no, I'm just saying, if you follow the inflation rate, it's $2.
but we thought we talked, it's a good time to do this now because we have the new yard. And there's a lot of extra expenses on the town to do all of that, that the town paid for.
Yeah, but that compost site wasn't exactly going broke
Yeah,
either.
no, I'm in favor of the 25. It's such a little amount.
I guess I would be up to 22 myself.
Mm-mm. 25 is a lot easier.
How is it easier?
Give them a 20 and a 5.
Oh,
25 is a nice number.
Yeah, it's a nice round number. And again, putting in the new yard and, you know, a lot of extra expenses there with the stone and the building and the platform and. Mhm,
I don't know, we paid for that. though.
exactly.
No, they paid for it already.
Mhm.
So, if you kept it at 20 or 22 or whatever it is, the other question I have is the cost of our staff. So our staff goes over there and that wasn't part of the contract. This was just a wages for the workers themselves. But our DPW staff goes over there every day, after everything and pushes the stuff up and moves the stuff around. And then when they're grinding, we've got a couple days of 3 or 4 of our guys over there, you know, working with the grinder to try to get them out as quickly as possible. That's what's keeping the cost down.
Percentage wise, how much usage is from Lisbon?
I think the fee,
Using 75% just in Lisbon people?
no, I think, town of, I think, probably maybe 50%. Because the town of Merton, they do quite a bit of, they sell a lot of the cash.
The town
So-
sells more than the village does.
Yeah, the town does definitely. Yeah, so they sell. Lisbon passes, oh, yeah. Yeah, well, so Lisbon and Merton sell about $14,000 worth of passes and we sell 16,500. 16,000. 14 and 15 from last year. So it's like 50% cost.
We attribute the wages for the DPW though to the compost budget already.
So, but we don't collect that from them,
For who?
from, Merton. The Mertens, they,
What do you
they
mean?
only pay wages of the, according to this, they only pay wages of the compost site workers.
Right, but the
Three
passive
workers.
paid for that.
Pardon me?
The passive paid for that. You don't even have to, so the compost site makes revenue. Between the wages of the hourly, the third. We make revenue there, then we make the revenue from the passes between Lisbon and each one. And then we attribute a percentage of, to the DPW that we deduct out of that revenue. So I mean, the compost site is paying for those employees.
The DPW is paid out of the compost or that on us?
So the wages are, the wages for DPW. In the past, the way it was set up when I got here was that they were gonna start charging a percent of the people that work in there to compost.
Yeah,
We did that, and the amount that came in this last year was, took us over, but it cost more because of DPW than. fees than
exactly.
For,
But this is
And they
because
were-
there was a move.
this was a move.
It's not a yearly thing.
Right.
That site, that,
So,
this fund
Well,
was
that's what I'm
always
saying.
very, very black,
Yeah,
and I mean black.
yeah.
Well, not like it used to be though.
Not the last couple of years because of the move, but it is not, it isn't losing money.
Right. Well, when we go in and put the regular hours in the DPW, that's gonna affect the budget.
It's in there.
No, she
So-
said it's not. Is it in here?
Some of it is, I think.
some of the,
Cause I don't see it on.
what's a 2% increase each year, 18, 19, and 20.
Right.
Yeah.
But the DPW hours aren't on here,
No,
so it's not
They're not.
included in this at all. So
Yeah,
that's.
they are. Sure they are.
Uh-uh.
It's in the, it's in the budget. When you break down their wages,
this-
some of it's attributed to the
Right.
compost site.
Yeah,
right,
we
but
pay-
it's not in their contract, is what we're talking about. their
Sure it
contract.
is. It's in the user fees for the pass.
So the user fees.
That's where I'm standing.
Okay,
We take the revenue,
Right,
whether it's the passes or the wages that we
Right.
put in, it all goes into a revenue for
yeah,
the fund.
understand that.
Okay, and then, so you have that money in there, and then we attribute a percentage of the compost, the DPW. We figured out that the DPW workers work up here, call it 5% of the time. And then we attribute 5% of the DPW workers' wages to the compost site, and we pull that revenue out of the compost.
You actually pull it out.
Yeah.
Or I thought you said no.
it's just that it's just not mentioned in the contract. That's what I was trying to-
Right.
Did we want to mention?
Need to? I thought, to me, that's the passes. To me, that's what that is, because then if so the one thing that doesn't change with users, like let's say town of Merton has more, village of Merton has more, the thing that doesn't change is they pay a third of the wages no matter what.
Right.
So then the compost pass fees, this is where it changes. So if you have a lot more users in the town of Merton, the town of Merton is paying more of those wages. They're also depositing more stuff and they're paying more of the wages to have that stuff removed.
Mhm.
Now, if it goes the other way, well, then all of a sudden the village of Merton will be paying more through their user fees to do that. And if the town all of a sudden takes off and 90% of it, then the town's paying more of that through those user fees.
Mhm.
That's how I feel. I mean, everybody's gonna make their own decision. So there's user fees and then there's wages being paid.
The user fees are covering, it's supposed to cover the cost.
How much should we have to add in this last year, the last 2 years?
So I'm looking at the compost budget. And in 20, we were over budget by 6,600. In 21, we're over budget by 36,000. This year, we're looking at 28,000.
Where were we the last year that we didn't move or buy anything for it?
In 19, we weren't doing any
moving prep or anything.
Yeah, or highway costs, no highway salary. Was done in 19 or 20. And in 19, we had a net compost of 13,000. 90.
I just brought it up because somewhere someone mentioned raising the Lisbon fees, and I would rather raise the
me too.
Merton fees before we raise any town of Lisbon fees.
Don't disagree.
Huh?
I do not
22.
disagree with you on that.
In 22,
And that's
our-
the only reason I brought it up.
Yep.
in 22, our grinder costs were 22,000, almost 23,000. This year, they came in at 17,060.
And we pay that, or is that part of the budget?
That's paid for out of this, out of the. it's not
But
paid
we
for
still
out of
came
that
in,
account.
we still came, we're in the black the last couple of years.
We're in the red. Last couple.
The move
Oh, yeah,
made it right.
red, I'm sorry. Yeah,
So that's the only reason I brought it up, was because I heard somebody say, and I don't remember who it was, well, we could raise the compost site, and I don't want to raise the town of Lisbon
no, me
residents.
neither.
How much should we spend on the move?
Yeah. That kind of money.
I mean, we had a amount budgeted for that.
We spent, 27,000 in 2021. In 22, we didn't have anything budgeted because we used all our surplus and we spent 30,000.
I mean, that's 57,000. So we spent 30,000 more this last year than we budgeted. Well, that's why we're on the red.
That's why I think I agree that I think the $5 is reasonable.
I don't, is that okay?
But those costs are done now, right? Those moving costs, the moving's all
Well,
done now.
You'll still have costs involved.
In 19, we didn't have any highway costs put into the budget for highway.
We attributed things to it though. Maybe it was not 19, but I know before that, because this was an ongoing discussion over the years. Like, there were years where we used, somehow we paid for DPW workers or something. Something was paid out of the compost
I
offset.
know it's paid out of stormwater. It wasn't paid out of town.
No, it was when I was here, and they would turn in their time cards, and they would attribute hours to when they worked at the post and at the compost. And those hours came out of the compost budget.
We
But
did that
how
long
could
ago.
we-
What
How
what
could
was
we have
funded.
FICA of $943 in 2019 and have no salaries? Oh, we did. We had $15,000 in salaries in 19. I mean, in 21. But in 19, we had $943 in FICA. That must just be in the
That's-
wrong column.
It's just that it's not in, it's the compost. Yeah, you're correct. It wasn't, should have went up in the compost salaries, not in the highway FICA. It was put in highway FICA. Could have been in compost FICA. Because that.
But there was FICA in the compost workers. I think it's just on the wrong line. But see, it's there. I think somebody just put it in on the wrong line. I think it goes into salaries.
Since Sussex used to be part of this too, and they were part of this whole formula. Paid in, I mean. I. This thing was way in the black for a number of years. I mean, actually, somebody pointed it out at, nobody realized it, but. Even if we spent that 30-some thousand, I mean, that is well more than it should cover. Over the life of this thing, but. still
Right,
not.
because it didn't used to be its own fund. So It was just part of the general.
We
the
separated it at
general
one time
fund, so.
because, yeah, I mean, we didn't track it as well as we should have back in the day, and it was. it was doing
So
well.
I think we should just revisit it in 3 years then. Okay.
I mean, I'm okay with doing an increase, I just want to base it off something, I mean, I guess an inflation rate for me is what I would be okay with.
Yeah, but it's.
Not saying do it inflation, but I'm just saying because inflation was this, $2
Right.
increase would be.
But it's easier for you to sit here and say there, and you're making a nightmare for the person.
Just
at
increasing it
Merton.
$2?
Yes, because then they gotta have a lot of change.
No, they come in. with a
And it
check.
just comes in and,
You flip a credit card.
right,
Because
and
ours
it made
is
it
18,
made
and
a
that's
nightmare when we first started.
That's
it.
You're
why we
talking to
thought
a guy
just
with
bring it
retail
in
with
one
cash.
lump.
Just get $100
You
in
know, if you
singles.
don't, if we can't.
No,
go to
because
five,
you don't have a lot of ones on site. You don't have a lot of money on site to begin with. I
Every
know.
day.
If we don't have the five,
do.
I would vote
Kathy,
for the
are
two.
we
We
done
need an
with the
increase.
expenditures on that now, the big ones?
He still is looking for, doing about another $30,000. Work over there,
Come on.
30.
Another 30,
That's
what is he gonna do?
$87,000 then.
He wants to,
Put an
finish
additional
the
30.
electric, put electric in the building. Insulate,
Where's this budgeted?
yeah. It's not.
Well, then it ain't happening.
Who's he, Richard,
No.
No,
Uh,
Joe.
Joe?
So just quick numbers on that. Morgan's drawing, Calvary's drawing 448 passes. and Village Morgan's got 208 passes. So it's not the revenue. It's a $3,280 increase to the budget. which will be roughly,
32.
That's still short of the 30,000.
Yeah.
It's short.
Gotta build up some funds.
Mhm. Are you interested now in the five?
No.
Oh.
I'm interested in wondering why we're gonna spend $100,000 on a compost site move.
Exactly.
I'm not interested in the 5, but I'm interested, very interested in that.
Well, everybody's got to partake. if they're
Can you-
using it. What?
No, I was gonna say, can we get like a audit of that or something? Just take a look at it and see what that's all about.
I like.
Just kind of get a.
We don't know where the money
See
was
where it is, yeah.
Oh, I got you.
And
He'll
like,
have the record, he's good at that.
Yeah, and
keeps
if he
good
wants-
records.
and if he's got ideas for other stuff, I think.
But I'm just curious, I mean, it's a nice site, but I'm just wondering where. Because
Where we're
originally we
going
budgeted originally 30,000 for the move,
Right,
and this is gonna be 70,000 over. It was-
27 originally. I used the 27 in the first move, then the cost of the.
We should
was
raise it
another
to 10.
30,000. I think it's fencing and stuff, he's gonna be here by the time we get the budget, he could be. But this was just to discuss the contract, what you wanted any changes. to. Or no, he was gonna, by phone, he was gonna be by phone.
This one by phone.
Yeah. He couldn't make it. But he said if we had any questions about it.
What does everybody wanna do? Colin,
3-year contract and don't change it. Find out. what's going on.
Linda,
Same thing, just do the. 50%
I'm sorry, what
increase.
the hell?
3-year status quo.
No, I think we need some sort of an increase, be it 5 or 2. One
I
of them,
would,
should-
I would support it too.
I think the 2.
I would vote for
I'll even bring the singles in.
You have to give her a
Okay,
second.
you're gonna be at the town and at the. Well, probably, maybe in Merton, they pay with like
Well, there-
cash,
that's their
they
own
don't
deal.
pay with cash, so.
Mark,
I'd be in favor of holding off on the. That increase is necessary. Discuss what we're doing. I don't have any, knowledge of the increase.
Right,
Becky,
If we aren't gonna do it 5, I'd say let's just have it status quo then.
Chairman?
So status quo.
I would, I mean, I'm basing $2 off the fact that money is 9.5% less valuable right now. So I would go with that, or I'm not gonna vote against a status quo, I guess, but. See, but I don't, I mean, he wants more information.
I don't have anything to say that we need to increase it.
Well, we
Yeah.
know that it's 30,000 that we're gonna have to pay.
This is well, we did already. So we budgeted 30, and we had it, we had that money back then when we decided to budget that. But this, I mean, now we're talking
Yeah.
60 to
Yeah.
70,000 more, which
Yeah,
Well, what happens if we decide that it needs to be a lot more, then we're doing a little bit and then more again?
I don't know, because
Kind of
I don't
thing.
know why we're spending this much money on this.
That's kind of where my head.
Well, and
I think we should know what we're doing before we do anything.
it's basically our responsibility. It's our compost site.
Right.
So that's on us. So
I mean, I do
Well, but
agree.
fair's
I mean,
fair.
if there's reason to go higher, other than we just got out of control,
how many years have we had them chair? There
well,
was,
I've been,
yeah, it's been years. Have we ever raised their rate?
well,
We have?
Linda, when I'm telling you this thing was in the black, I'm trying not to say how in the black this thing was here.
Yeah. Okay.
It was pointed out by another municipality's administrator. And we looked, he was dead on.
Oh. And at one
it
time, we
was
didn't
not
even have to
intentional.
pay.
It was
We
not
didn't even have to
intentional.
pay
that's right. It used to be free.
free for
Right.
this residence, which I really like because it's a service.
All right, I will bring this back, status quo, and then you can make and gather more information on.
When is it? When is it? Oh, December
Yeah,
31st?
the end of
or-
December,
Okay,
so I can bring it in at the next meeting.
okay.
We'll bring us to closed session.
Is that it?
That's it there.
That's it.
Item 13, closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statutes 19.85 parent E for the purpose of deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public property, investing in public funds, or conducting other specified public business. Whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session, more specifically regarding Jim Forrester's offer for land located in Lisbon Business Park East, is there a motion to go into closed session? For a second,
Second.
motion made and seconded, roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Quinn,
Aye.
Supervisor Beal,
Aye.
Supervisor Moden, Supervisor Plotecker,
Aye.
Chairman Osterman.
Aye. We're in closed session and it's 7:36.
For anyone who may be participating on Zoom, I am going to move you into a waiting room. When we resume from closed session, I will readmit you to the meeting.
Randy fell asleep.
Who is on
Randy.
Zoom? Who is that?
Highway Department. Paula made the motion to come out of closed session. Linda seconded. It was a roll call vote. We all agreed.
Mhm,
We came on a closed session at 7:58.
mhm.
And we're looking for a motion going out of closed session. Recommended motion would be to approve the property conveyance agreement with TLS Town Square LLC and the town of Lisbon, and to allow the town chairman and clerk to sign the agreement.
A second.
Make the motion.
Yeah, I'll make the motion.
Who wants a second?
I'll second it.
Becky wants a second. Any discussion?
Mhm.
All in favor?
Aye.
Maybe with those restrictions we talked about,
Right, everything we just discussed.
changes. I should.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Item 15 is adjournment. Anybody? Somebody? Moved by Mark, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Becky. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? You're out at 7:59. So we should open that door before we do that.
Aren't we gonna talk about these?
Workshop.
Yeah,
When?
after the meeting.